Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. An amazing week indeed. And I'm super excited to be here. And I have a wonderful guest to help me with the pre launch of the Christie Taylor Show. It's been in the works for a couple of weeks, and I'm super excited to bring it to you today. We're going to be working out let's just call this the beta test. And to help me with that beta test and pre launch, I have an amazing gentleman, a visionary, amazing talent that I'm super excited to have, Dellguan Coleman, give you a little update on who he is as we go to the show. That's who he is, and here he is. Hey, Dellguan.
Hey, I like that. That was neat.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, this is all about the pre-launch of the Christie Taylor Show. Woo! Okay, so we are in our infancy stage, but I'm super excited that I have someone as talented as you to help me work through all the kinks. Super excited about our conversation today. First of all, a visionary, a founder of MovieGo. And as we get into the show, you have some exciting things that are happening this week as we are in the month of August, all about filmmaking. But before we get into that, I definitely want to have a chance to give our audience a chance to get to know who Dellguan Coleman is, based here in Memphis. So let's get that life story.
Well, I was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. I grew up in South Memphis, and I've always been a forward thinker. I think, back in the day, I was kind of isolated because of my viewpoint. Now I'm kind of, I guess I'm more gravitated to now, because I guess they was like, oh, I see what he's saying now. So a lot of times when you're a forward thinker, people, might not see it then, and then later on they'll be like, oh, okay, this is what he was saying. So,
so from a child, you had that visionary mindset.
Yeah, it was. I got pushed back, even with my name. So, they was like, well, what's Dellguan or whatever. So,
So
I'm cool
Dellguan,
with
here
it.
we are talking about some amazing things that you've been having happen in the last couple of years. Now, of course, you and our paths crossed because two different people were like, you need to connect with this young man who's doing some great things in the film space. Let's talk about, first of all, your entry into the creative space, like what's your creative niche?
I guess helping people and finding solutions to problems. So I like figuring things out. I feel like everything is figure outable. I saw that on a piece of paper. Everything is figure outable. So with that being said, when people would approach me and say that you couldn't make money in the indie world, I was just like, why not? Because in business, you either selling a product or a service.
Right.
So with MovieGo or in the movie industry, you can sell both. You can sell products and you can sell a service. So that being said, here we are.
Now, you are I guess you can say a videographer. You have an amazing eye. You've actually captured me a couple of times on behind your lens. Plus, you've been shooting short films. Let's talk about your creative process in that space.
It started out with The Last Girl on Earth. I wanted to just do something in Memphis with a group of film directors, and we came together. But we didn't have a script. Well, I had a script, but it was like, so what is it? What's the script? So I was like, I remember being, I hate saying this, but I was incarcerated at the time, and I came up. I wrote this. I was writing a lot. I knew I was getting out one day, so I was writing a lot, and I wrote. The original name was called "I'm in Love with My Cousin's Husband," but I forgot it, and I just remembered my cousin's husband. So that's when I, came up with that bit, and I did part one, and it called "When." I wasn't thinking about MovieGo or anything like that. And then somebody inboxed and was like, okay, how do I find this platform? Part two or whatever. And I just fell in love with shorts. So with that being said, I started writing part two and part three. And then in the midst of part three, I wrote hide and seek horror flick. So I was shooting My Cousin's Husband Part 3, and then I did hide and seek because I like horror too. So, and from that point on, you know, boom, did the indie film night, and I met you.
Yeah, we finally had a chance to connect at Indie Film Night. Now, let's talk about MovieGo, the platform, because here you are, an indie filmmaker who has a love for shorts. You know, you're finding your way of creating through the lens, both photography and filmmaking. But then you're like, hey, you know, people are hitting you up, like, how do we connect? And MovieGo. Let's talk about the actual platform, MovieGo.
Okay, MovieGo is it's more of a service than just a streaming service. So not only do we show indie films or films, but we provide a platform for anybody, whether you are a director or actor, or if you're not a director or actor. So this is how it works. So if you go to Instagram right now and you are a director, you might need actors, you might need a costume designer, you might need an author, you might need a props, whatever. You can just go to the Instagram and just touch on the tabs. If you aren't a director, but you want to become a director, you might just have a movie in your head and say, hey, I got this film in my mind, but I need actors, directors, I need costume design, I need makeup artists, yada, yada, yada. Boom, you can hire these people, or you can just reach out to them, or you could practice the barter system, because a lot of times you have actors working with directors and they just do the barter system. Or you might just want to check out some good content from indie filmmakers. You can scroll down and go down the timeline, and you can see, you know, films like The Last Go on Earth. That was the last film that I did, MovieGo original. But I got different directors, different films, Mia Copa with Will, and it works both ways. It works kind of like Uber. You can either be the driver or you can be the passenger. It doesn't matter, but it works. So it's more of a service than just a streaming service. I thought about it, but I'm just here to help. So, you know, if you want to be an author, I got authors on there. It works. It works for the consumer, and it works for the directors, the actors. It works for both parties like that.
It truly is a great networking platform. And I know that you've had a couple events. Let's talk about some of the events that have emerged from this collaboration of artist and non-artist.
I did the indie film night at K3,
Which is
at
a really
Dellguan
super
spot.
cool internet cafe bakery spot in South Memphis.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? That's my side of town. So I wanted to keep it for us, by us. So, but I had different genres, and it was packed out. But the thing was, when I started looking up under the hood to say, okay, well, let me start this. I'm gonna start this platform, because when the people or the person was asking me, well, where can I find the rest of My Cousin's Husband? What platform? Before you start a business, you should do proper research. So I did proper research, and everybody I would ask that was already doing films, or all the directors would tell me, yeah, I shoot film, but you don't make money in the indie world. And I was like, why don't? And he was like, you just don't. And I was like, why don't you? And he was like, you just don't. And I was like, I beg to differ. So that's when I did the indie film night. And everybody that doubted me, I gave them a platform, and they all made money too. So, and it wasn't about the money, but again, man, movies have been around before I was born, and it's a big
Hundreds of
industry.
years, over 100 years.
Yeah, yeah. So nobody cares about the indie filmmaker, and because the indie filmmaker don't have a major platform, a platform to the point where it's like the end thing. You know what I'm saying? When you think of indie, you think of immature for some reason, or amateur, I mean. And I just wanted to change that thought process. And I think MovieGo is just cool for the indie world. So
Now, that one, what
again,
are the things that you did to help monetize? Because in the indie world, I'm a filmmaker, screenwriter as well, actress, and in addition to my media background, for most filmmakers, short films are considered your calling card, like a visual business card that just gave people an opportunity to see your writing style, your acting style, your directing style. So it was more like a demo reel in the music industry. But one of the things when you did do the indie movie night, you found a very creative way to monetize it. Let's talk about how you introduce economics for the short filmmaker.
it's no different from, like, I looked at it and I did it, and I did it digitally this year. But I'm gonna show you how I did it last year at my indie film night. I look at it just like, you know, your $20 and Halle Berry $20 count the same. The only difference is influence with names and the people. You know what I'm saying? But to get through the door, if the event is $10, it's not only $10 for you, but it's $10 for Halle Berry. So I just look at people as people. You know what I'm saying? Just like especially now in 2020 or this, you know, and now people are looking out. A regular person looks at an indie film or a Michael Bay film the same way with their eyes, and they judge it the same way.
Right.
Either it was a long 1 hour and 30 minutes, or it was a great 10-minute short.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're judging it the same way. We just like with music, people come up. If T.I. put out a new album or whatever, we're gonna listen to it the same way. We're not saying, oh, it's T.I. so off the muscle, it's good. No, we might give him some segue and compromise a little, but if it's wax our heart and ears, we're gonna be like, oh, I didn't like it. I'm just saying.
Right.
But if somebody's underground and the music touches you, good, because at the end of the day, a movie is a beginning, a middle, and an end. So you either got a good beginning, middle, and the end, or you don't, and that's it. So with that being said, I bought the house, I made my own merchandise, I had the door, and I gave every director 10 tickets. I let them keep full equity. So if they sold it for the tickets were $10, but if they sold each ticket for $100, that's on them. They made $1,000. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. However, but everybody that sold their tickets, because they started asking for more tickets because they had never made money in their life. And I was like, no, you only get 10. You know what I'm saying? I had the house, made my own popcorn, and that was it. Yeah, and it worked out that way. So everybody got paid for a 10-minute short. So in hindsight, they made $100 in 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because I was only asking for 10-minute shorts. So everybody had to have a 10-minute short. You know, now if you went over that time, that was on you, but you still made $100 in 10 minutes mathematically. That's how it worked.
Now, you did talk about, of course, 2020, you had the idea of doing some amazing things as well. But in March of 2020, COVID hit, global pandemic, and we all had to pivot. Many of us went virtual, even like right now, having a show virtually is the thing, as well as podcasts. So how did you flip and turn your indie film night into a virtual event?
Okay, so I was already working on this film called The Last Girl on Earth because I wanted to show.
I have to say that I loved it. I actually loved it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. I didn't know you checked it out, but thank you.
I did.
Okay, so I was already shooting it before the pandemic, and it kind of worked out because the last day that we were shooting with nobody outside, and it's The Last Girl on Earth. You know, and I wanted to show people that you didn't need a big cast, you didn't need all these, you know, people on set. Because if the movie is called The Last Girl on Earth, you only shoot one person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't seen it, you can just type up The Last Girl on Earth. But how I set it up was I created a digital theater. It's 4 episodes. I played it for 4 nights: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I showed it just like the movies, 3 showings a day. And I had $5 tickets for 4 episodes, $10 tickets for 4 episodes and a poster being signed, and $20 tickets for MovieGo popcorn, a T-shirt, or a poster, all 4 episodes. And you got to watch you was in part. You could be part of the Q&A and win gifts. And I did it like that digitally. And I showed it just like the theaters did. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think. Yeah, Sunday too. Did 3 showings per night. And it worked out the same way.
So what was the feedback? Because that was of course, you know, the entire film industry has been scrambling, trying to figure out how to, you know, address our needs to still be creative and exhibit our artwork in the film space. So for you to do this in the midst of the pandemic early on, you know, what have you seen was the response to those who had a chance to check it out?
They would ask me questions, and then they would like, I had somebody say, "Well, aren't you scared that the movie theater is going to take this idea and run with it?" And I was like, "No, because they don't own the content. See, I own the content, so I could do that." So the reason the movie theaters uh, are scratching the surface right now to stay afloat in their brick and mortars, because I don't know, somebody wasn't thinking, but they never thought of, just like now you're starting to see on Netflix,
Right.
Netflix
Streaming.
originals. Yeah,
Exactly.
but they got their originals. So that's what
Correct.
it is. So they was borrowing content. They borrowed content to
Mhm.
get their capital, and then they bought their cameras, bought their crew, whatever, and now they just get good scripts, and all of their Netflix originals be like pretty on point. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
very.
saying? So in time, yeah. So if anything go wrong, if people want to pull their movies or whatever, it doesn't matter. They have enough in their archive to survive, and then they can just do Netflix, just like HBO. So it's the
Exactly.
same thing.
That is so interesting that you're thinking about that. Even with the indie space, there are starting to emerge platforms that are trying to address that. One particular one that I really want to celebrate is Quelly TV. Of course, for most people, they don't know she's originally from Memphis. She now lives in DC, and she created Quelly TV to showcase African American and African filmmakers around the diaspora. So, for those who don't know that, shout out to once again Memphis Ingenuity, allowing short filmmakers and independent filmmakers like yourself, to come up with great ideas of presenting short films to the world in a way that the world can enjoy it. So, let's talk about what you had planned and have planned for this weekend, August 2020.
Okay, so um, this weekend, starting Friday, I'm doing the first phone film festival. So this will be the first one ever. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then Monday I'm doing an award show. So everything is going to be digital. I already built my digital theater. I'm gonna start letting people in. Probably I was gonna do it today, but I might wait until Wednesday because I'm steady getting monies and people are steady adding. And once you're inside of the digital theater, you get, so if you didn't make it to the Indie Film Festival, not the Indie Film Night last year, you get to see some of the films already. And then Friday we'll start the Phone Film Festival for the people that we picked out for their films, and you'll get to see them. You get to participate in the Q&A. I got some great gifts, great giveaways. You get to be a part of the what do you call that? The film watch, the
Yeah,
watch
screening.
party,
Yeah,
the
the
watch
watch.
party. Yeah, the watch party. And again, you get to reach out to these people, and then you also get to see the um, the MovieGo, the award show, my first
And
award show.
now, that one, you keep saying you built out your own platform. So, because most people are going virtual through like Zoom or through other platforms. So, tell me about that. So, I mean, because you are a
I did it
website.
on Facebook.
Okay.
No, Facebook. Yeah, just you can create it on Facebook. Just like you create a private group, you can just create your
Yes.
own digital theater. Just like how you did, I don't know how you did. You got the commercial, you got the whole setup. Like it came on like a real, like ESPN or something. I'm just like, I'm sitting back, I'm like, yo, it's telling us the 20-second, 30-second countdown. You're
Yeah.
backstage right now, and you figured it out, and I'm impressed. So I got
Thank you.
questions for you after this. So I'm like,
Okay.
yo, that was
Okay.
neat.
Definitely.
But I think it's to me, even when people get back out under brick and mortars or whatever, um, change is inevitable.
Yeah.
So things are going to change. I just like to be ahead of the curve or with it, at least in pocket with it. And I always thought it was, cool to go virtual. I think this is cool. Like, I don't have to drive
Yes.
through traffic. I don't have to, I'm just saying, like, we really, and then I think we can reach uh, a bigger demographic
That's
for
true.
the people that don't feel like getting up out of the bed. Somebody might be in the hospital watching this and saying, "Oh, I'm learning," and they can say, "Well, you know what? We got our own thing. We can watch." For the people that haven't got a ticket already, the tickets are $10 for the first Phone Film Festival. The link is on my page, and you can enjoy yourself, and then you can meet these people. So I don't know if you can touch Michael Bay or Steven Spielberg, but the people on MovieGo, you can literally reach out, touch them, and they will definitely share information. Nobody's acting fancy, you know.
You know something, Dellguan, that's one of the things I do love about independent filmmakers and the Memphis Mid-South, which we have to include Arkansas and Mississippi because we're strategically located. We have definitely become more of a family. You know, there's always that creative competition because that's just the nature of the business. But overall, it's a very collaborative environment, and I really appreciate, you know, and I told you from day one when we finally had a chance to meet that I really love the idea that you came up with. And I got to say that, you know, what you did was such a novel idea that I understand somebody wanted to quote unquote buy it from you. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I introduced it to him, but
And we're
I
talking
knew,
about Damon Dash.
huh?
Talking about Damon Dash. When he heard about your idea, he loved it and wanted to duplicate it.
What? Now it wasn't Dame, it was somebody else in LA. It wasn't
Oh,
Dame. Dame was more so uh, gravitating
support.
to what I was doing and trying to figure out, because he was like, they shoot films and movies. I mean, they do uh, films, like they shoot films in Memphis. I was like, yeah, and I was explaining and showing it to him, and like, you know, I did the layout, and I wanted his building, so he was just like, bet, you know what I'm saying? He wanted, I was going to get his whole building before the pandemic, and do the next indie film night in LA. You know, which it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen. But the person that wanted the idea, um, I think they just saw dollar signs versus seeing the foundation. I'm more so about building a brand up and creating a legacy, so our people will have a safe haven, you know, so we don't have to depend on Hulu or Netflix. I like Hulu, I like Netflix, I love HBO, but it's not for us, by us. And MovieGo is. So at the end of the day, if I want to cash out, I have to pass it to you. I can pass it to your kids or whoever, you know, whoever want it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, boom, here it is. Keep going. So
Now,
we
there
just need a safe
another
haven.
thing, another thing that I love about MovieGo and just your overall approach to artistry and business and how you've merged them together is the fact that, if I can say it like this, you're very hip hop in your approach of merchandise, like really finding all the different ways to make money. Merchandise.
It's very
That's,
important.
yeah.
You know, I mean, listen, when you go to before you even see the movie, you done spent, if it's two people, you done spent close to $50 on popcorn before you even get to the seat. We talk about nachos, hot dog, popcorn,
Yeah.
drink. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And your movie
Ticket
tickets. Right.
and your ticket, right? So I'm like, okay. So, you know, I found somebody to make my popcorn. I know how to make my own merchandise because, you know, I'm Coleman from Coleman Neal. So if I can make shoes, you know, I can make a t-shirt and anything else. And it felt good to wear hide and seek the actual shirt, you know, like a Freddy Krueger shirt. So I got the hide and seek shirt on, and then you watching the indie film, and people treat it the same way. If it's good, it's good, and then they want a shirt. But if it's whack, you know, I guess they won't respond to it, and they'll tell you. But the thing about indie, you can fix it. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You only got so many shots in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Even if you get a second chance, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
with MovieGo, you know, we have tiers of directors, you know, A, B's, and C's. A for excellent, B for good, C for average. And everybody wants to be an A, and everybody's willing to help. A will work with a C, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
inevitably will become a B, you know?
Now, speaking
So,
about merchandise, you have on your MovieGo hoodie. You got to show.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that logo.
Hmm.
So you design your own logos, you do your own merch, and you did mention Coleman and Neal, which is your fashion line. So
Hmm.
even he got the watch on, y'all. One of the watches. One of the watches. So how is that?
And wait. And look at this. These are
Oh,
the t-shirts for the Fall Film Festival.
I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. So promotion
I'm gonna give
marketing.
you one
Yay! I
for
love it.
interviewing me.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. You know, that's one of the things that I really do love about, you know, young filmmakers is that in addition to just making the film, you understand the importance of social media, you know, the promotion, the marketing, the merchandise, and just having a great network. Now, because I think you're a millennial, correct? I think you're in that millennials headspace in that
Yeah.
range. One of the things I wanted to kind of wrap up with is, as a millennial, what do you think, in addition to some of the things you discussed, is going to be the future of filmmaking for Hollywood and for independent filmmakers in the region?
They're going to have to adapt to us, the indie people. It's more indie filmmakers than Hollywood filmmakers. It's more indie actors. They just don't know it yet. And I'm here to wake them up, to let them know that, hey, here we are. You know, let's take a stand, you know, because if we don't watch HBO because we're doing our own thing, they lose ratings. So they will have to. But I'm not saying I'm going against HBO. I'm just saying, yo, it's a bigger platform. You know what I'm saying? Like indie, like people have slept on indie because they think of, and when you hear indie films, you be like, ah, man, they amateurs. But if you watch Mia Copa on MovieGo, you know, you'll be very impressed. If I sent you Mia Copa right now, the film Mia Copa that was directed by Will Robbins, but I didn't tell you, and I said, man, this is a movie from Jordan Peele. You'll believe it.
Wow.
You'll believe it.
Because I do like the fact that you all have a love for horror. And speaking of Jordan Peele, he has definitely made that become more mainstream Black horror, Black, you know, thrillers and things like that. So this is good. Now let's speak about, once again, what you have going on this weekend. How can people get involved? Websites, Facebook, give us the information.
It's on Facebook. You can go to my page, or you can just type up the Phone Film Festival, and it's going to pop up. The tickets are only $10. Once you're in, you're in. And again, man, you get to see, if you didn't know anything about MovieGo, or you didn't get a chance to make it to the Indie Film Night last year, you get to watch some of the films already once we let you inside of the digital theater. And once it starts, we're going to do the watch party. We're going to have fun. You're going to see different interviewers from Florida. She's from Florida. Lawrence. You're going to see Levita, my sister. Deborah, she's the quarterback. My people from Arkansas, Tanisha and KV. So different interviewers, and all of these people have their own platform. And you're going to have over 20,000 viewers, because like on one platform, like Tanisha, her page has 20,000 followers already on it. So with us combining our influence to create income, it works. You know, and it's not about income. It's about having an influence to turn it income, because at the end of the day, we do need money to survive. And we'll have digital theaters, and MovieGo will have its own theater for indie filmmakers, and we'll have our own safe haven. That's what I'm building, for us, by us.
For us, by us. MovieGo. So Dellguan Coleman on Facebook. That's DELLGUAN Coleman. Also, now Instagram features MovieGo. Give that handle. That's
_ MovieGo. And again, if you're interested in becoming a filmmaker, or you might just be sitting on the couch and you might have a great idea. You might have the next Freddy Krueger in your mind, or you might have the next Armageddon movie in your mind, or whatever. You know, we can develop it and get it done. So I don't feel like, oh man, I'm not a filmmaker, but you might have something on your spirit that you want to get out. We do poetic films. We do. We got MovieGo comics now for people that.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be adding it to the calendar in the 901 Union, but we're gonna be launching Stephen B. He's one of the MovieGo comics, but I got different comic book writers and illustrators on MovieGo. But this guy's from Carver, from South Memphis, and you know, it's an original. So we do have MovieGo originals. Then we have, you know, subcontracts with different directors and filmmakers and comic book writers and costume designers and stuff like that. So we all working together as one.
Love it. Totally love that. So for those who want to get involved and you want to attend the first MovieGo Phone Film Festival.
Phone Film Festival.
Phone Film Festival. Go to Facebook and check out Dellguan Coleman. Also, to make sure that you're part of the MovieGo family, go to Instagram _MovieGo and get in that circle and in that click. And if you're in the Mid-South, you definitely want to, I would advise to at least investigate and, and get in the circle, and be sure, if you love films, to check out these amazing filmmakers. We all start at the point of telling our stories, and as we have that support and that love, we can reach the stars. Indeed, we can reach the stars. So one last thing, I think I just want to say thank you.
I want to say thank you.
So we thank each other, and I say you're welcome for helping me even in this pre-launch of the Christie Taylor Show. I'm looking forward to some of the amazing persons, including those that are going to be featured at the film festival and throughout the community, both in the political circle, lifestyle, culture, entertainment, music. So I look forward to just being able to lend my voice and my support to this amazing community.
And I got shirts. I got you one, okay? So you just give me a sign.
There we go. 2020 Phone Film Festival, MovieGo. Isn't that amazing? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. And
thank you.
Here it is. Show number 1.
Oh, I made the first show?
Yeah, you're part of the pre-launch. Thank you, Dellguan. In history books. In the history books. Thank you all so very much. And be sure to check out more from the Christie Taylor Show. We're going to be providing more support to our community here in the Mid-South, as well as nationally and international. If you are interested in being on the show, simply send me an email. Email me at thechristietaylorshow@gmail.com. Also on social media, Facebook and Instagram, The Christie Taylor Show. And you can always just follow me as well, ChristieTaylorOnline.com. All right, until next time.